At night makes no difference who's going to say anything on the radio. Means nothing. They did it, and they're the boss. And because there's another entity called NARAS, they're able to do it, and they separate. Eventually, anything to do with Latin music will be out of NARAS. I can predict that too.
So it took you 17 years. I just want to make sure I got that right. The first time it took you, you fought for 17 years to
No,
get
no, it
Latin
took 17 years to put us in category.
That's what I'm saying. You fought for 17 years to get a Latin music category, to get Latin
Well, there were
music
others
categories?
that were really principals in doing that.
Right.
I came in later, and when I came in, I won. But when I won, I won one Grammy representing all of Latin music and all the Latin musicians in the world.
What year was
which
that?
is quite absurd. 1975.
So then from there, you and others fought to have more categories?
Of course, and then I was instrumental to get the Latin jazz category.
And that
When I was the governor, that was by going into 1990.
And you were the governor?
I was the governor for 2 years at NARAS. That's what I said. Whoever came up with this idea of NARAS, we should surround them and kill them. And
So
they threw me out.
So Eddie, are there Latin jazz categories in the Latin Grammys?
Yes. That's why they're able to do what they did.
Because they said that there were Latin.
Well, if you complain, they said, listen, you got a category.
You already have it in the.
So what's the problem?
Well,
See?
it's particularly ironic because Latin jazz was what brought so much of Latin music to the American public, to the Anglo public. Now they're saying, oh no, you have to go now with the Latins because you don't, it's really.
No, it's terrible. It's a terrible thing. And then what's even more ironic is that the jazz musician, who we couldn't win in their category, look, if you're playing piano, I'll start with me. I'm going to go against Chick Corea, Herbie Hancock, Keith Richard, Keith Jarrett. I mean, I'm Mr. McCoy Tyler. These are all my idols and friends and great players. Imagine the horn player, saxophone player, trumpet player. Remember, after the first vote, they removed everybody. Only 5 stayed. If there's 6 or 7, because of the tie in the vote. So we're never going to see it. We're not going to get a chance anymore. That's what they said about Esperanza Spalding. They're using her as an example because she beat out Justin Bieber, which one of the very talented musician coming out of New Orleans, Harry Connick Jr., referred to her as, I don't know who that person is, but Justin Bieber should have won it because he saved the recording industry. Now it's who saved the recording industry. We're not talking about the essence of a great artist winning because of a musical preparation. You following me?
Yes.
See, here we go again. We're talking about the preparation musically
But the reality
of a musician.
even Latin radio is #1. Even if you compare it with whatever you call it.
But Latin radio,
it
has nothing to do, again, with our genre. It's Latin pop, it's Latin rock,
But my question is,
it's
then,
Latin rap,
is it
it's Latin everything except the ball game.
Right, but
All Latin music, period, played right.
Yes.
my question though is that makes it seem even short-sighted. Just to remove any Latin category seems short-sighted on the part of the Grammy folks.
What?
If the Latin community is growing, everything is growing. Why would, I don't know, it's almost very short-sighted.
The reason that they're doing what they're doing is because you have NARAS. In other words, whatever you might come up with, whatever I might say, I'm in a court of law in the sense of musical law that, listen, what are you complaining about? You got it here. That's why I said there's no two speakers.
Exactly.
Again, why do we need 2 Grammys coming out of 2 different? Why? We should have been all in one.
Right.
And it's more prestigious. That's where it happened. That's where it started. It will be fought for. And you remove them like if we meant absolutely nothing.
So do you not? Are you not for the Latin Grammys?
It's not that I'm not for them. It's what it represents and what it doesn't represent. It doesn't represent the essence of the music that is really the music of our genre, the dance genre. Again, and when you look at the show, you're going to see all different artists that have nothing to do with an orchestra leader or an orchestra. You don't even see an orchestra either. Have you seen the jazz orchestra on either one of them? Or jazz? We saw Mr. Herbie Hancock play, but this is very short and spacious and far apart.
Right.
It has nothing to do with musicians. That's the problem. Great musicians. It has to do about come up there, baby, and shake your booty, and let's do the ball game. And
So that's a pop. That's like the pop Grammys. That's the pop Grammys. Should there be another kind of Grammys, or?
Then call it something else.
So
Call it something else. Call it the hit parade.
So it seems pretty clear that they're just tailoring the categories to focus on what sells the most records.
Like
Pop
Yeah,
music.
but there we go again. Back to what he said. Money.
Well, my
Hell's
station,
narrow.
we completely took off jazz from It came on every Saturday night. I'm in Houston, Texas, do jazz radio. They like to take it off the radio. So there was no market for it. They wouldn't generate any revenue. We're no one for it.
It's because people aren't doing it right. There's a lot of people in LA that want to hear Latin music.
I'm saying that the KTV 94.9.
Talking about one floor.